When I put the picture up, I just want you to think in your mind, how many dots do I see? So it's going to be a picture of dots. You'll let us know that you're thinking by taking your hand and you'll turn it into a fist and you'll place your fist right on your chest. That'll let me and the other students in our classroom know that you're taking some time to think about how you could count these dots. When you're holding your fist up, we want you to think of as many ways as you can to count the dots. So if you think of one way, you'll hold up either a thumb or one finger. If you think of more than one way, you'll hold up 2 fingers, 3 fingers, 4 fingers, and if you get to 5, that's awesome. We're going to let you have the opportunity to think by yourself, so I know it's going to be really exciting to see all these dots, but I don't want you to shout out how many you see. I just want you to think in your brain, how many dots do I see? And then I want you to try and think of as many ways as you can to count those dots. After I've given you some time to think about it by yourself, I'm then going to allow you some time to think with a partner and to really talk about what you see. Make sense? So I'll put the image up and then I'll allow you some time to think about it. So if you could just take a minute and think, how many dots do I see? And remember that you'll put your fists on your chest to let us know you're thinking. And then you'll try and count it as many different ways as you can. Perfect. All right, so in just a minute, I'm going to provide you with the opportunity to turn and talk to a partner about the number of dots you see. So not yet, wait until I say go. When I say go, I want you to use a sentence stem. So with your partner, you're going to say, I know there are blank dots because ... So for example, if Mr. DJ back there was my partner, I would say to him, hey, Mr. DJ, I know that there are 100 dots because I counted 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Now, are there 100 dots here? No. So when you turn and talk to your partner, you are going to tell them how many dots you counted and then how you counted them. So partner 1 will go first. Partner 2 is just going to listen, and then they're going to pause, take a deep breath, and then partner 2 can share how they counted their number of dots. You'll know that we're done talking when you see my hands. They're going to start way out wide like this, and I'm going to slowly bring them back together. I'm going to make a window, and then my window is going to shut. When you see my window shut, that means I need you to look just like you look right now and sound just like you sound right now. Can I get a thumbs up if that makes sense, if you understand what we're going to be doing next? Perfect. I've got thumbs up from everybody. All right, go ahead and turn and talk to your partner about how many dots you see. All right, so first I'm going to have you guys do some shouting out, which I know is my favorite thing to do. I just want you to shout out the answer that you got. It can be whatever answer you came up with, and then after you're done shouting, we'll have people share how they counted the dots. So what answers might we have collected? How many dots do we think there are? Go ahead, shout them out.
30.
Does anyone have an answer other than 30? Yeah. No?
I counted by 5s to 30.
Oh, how many? I appreciate you sharing that with us, but do you have an answer that's different than 30 dots? No. Does anyone see a number other than 30 up there? No? Okay. Who might be willing to share how they counted those dots? Yeah, what's your name? Avery. Could you share with us how you counted those dots?
I counted by 5s.
Can you say more about that? How did you count by 5s?
I know that 5 plus 5 is 10, and 10 plus 5 is 5 is 20, and 20 plus 5 is 25, and 25 plus 5 is 30.
Can you come up here and show us where you saw groups of 5?
I have this out, and I see a 4 and a dot in the middle. I know it's 5, and then every single one.
So you recognize that this was a group of 5, that this was also a group of 5. Perfect. You see it right even in a seat. So Avery noticed, you can put your hands in. Avery noticed right away that there were images of 5. She said that she recognized there were 4 dots and then 1 in the middle to make that 5. And then she started grouping her 5s together to make 10. Then she took her 10 group and added another 5 group to make 15. 15 and 5, she said, made 20. 20 and another 5 group made 25. And then she took 25 and one more 5 group and made 30. Can everybody look at Avery's strategy? Would anyone be willing to share with whether they agree with what Avery said or whether they disagree with what Avery said? And we want to know why, so be willing to share why you know that you agree with her. Yeah, what's your name in the back? Cody? Do you agree with Avery?
I agree.
Can you say, I agree with her because? So you followed that same pattern of counting by 5s, and when you counted by 5s, you ended up at 30. I wonder if I put that same image up here a second time, if anyone might be willing, knowing that Avery and Cody both counted by 5s, so maybe first we should write that up here. Counted by 5s. If I put this image up here a second time, might anyone be willing to offer a different way? So we've already established that we can count by 5s to get to 30. Did anyone count this a different way? Yeah, in the green, what's your name? Elliot. How did you count?
I counted by 3, so I kind of split them a little bit in half and took the top 3 and just went all the way over. And then I did the bottom 3 all the way over on the bottom part.
Uh-huh.
I kind of did 3 different ways in the middle.
Okay, can I'm going to try and capture what you said kind of one step at a time. So I heard you say that first you recognized that this was a set of 3. Is that what you mean by you did the top part? And then did you mimic or copy that same kind of thinking down below? Elliot, would you be willing to come up here and show us with your finger how you captured the rest of the threes?
So this one like this, and then these ones like that. Other way.
So Elliot, once you had all of these threes, what did you do next?
Added them all up.
Can you say a little bit more about how you added them?
I did the 3 on the top, and that equals 9, and 3 on the bottom equals 9. 9 and 9 is 18, and then 12 and 18 is 30.
Did you guys hear what he just said? He said that he knew, I'm going to connect these, this row of threes produced 9. And then he said, well, if the top does that, I bet the bottom does the same thing. So he ended with 2 groups of 9. Elliot, can you tell us, you said 9 plus 9 equals 18. How did you know that? Mm-hmm. So he said he knew that 9 multiplied by 2 made 18, but he also said 9 plus 9 makes 18. Elliot, once you have this 18, can you tell us what you did next? I know that you said it once.
4 in the middle, and added them, which equals 12. 12 plus 18 equals 30.
So he said that this middle part is not like the top and the bottom, that there's 4 sets of 3 here. And that made 12. How did you know that 18 plus 12 made 30?
Then I took away the 2, added it to 18, which makes 20. 20 plus 10 is 30.
Wow. So let me try and capture that, Elliot. You said that really you were thinking 18 plus 12 makes something. But what you did is you decomposed this 12. You turned the 12 into 10 plus 2. And then you took this 18 and this 2, and you got to 20. And then you said 20 plus 10 equals 30. Elliot, can you just double check and make sure that I captured your thinking the way in which you really thought about it? So, learners, can we look back up here for a moment? We have Avery's thinking up top, along with Cody affirming that thinking. And then we have Elliot's thinking down below. Can you take a minute and just think to yourself, which strategy makes most sense to you? Just in your head, think, does Avery's strategy and Cody's strategy make the most sense? Or does Elliot's strategy make the most sense? Just in your head. I'm going to let you turn and talk to a partner again, but don't go yet. When I say go, I want you to turn to them and say, Avery's strategy made the most sense to me because, or Elliot's strategy made the most sense to me because, or both strategies made the most sense to me because, or neither of these strategies made sense to me. I have a strategy that I think might be better. Ready? So I think this strategy, or a different strategy makes the most sense. Go ahead, watch from my window. So we saw two very different strategies, didn't we? And I learned something today. We all seem to get to the answer of, or the solution of 30, but the way in which Avery counted was very different than the way in which Elliot counted. Is Avery's strategy better than Elliot's? No. Is Elliot's strategy better than Avery's? No. Learners, there are a lot of ways to count to 30, and the only person that can decide what way is the best way is you. You have to pick which way makes the most sense to you. So when you're counting today and every day, try and pick a strategy that makes the most sense to you. Maybe the next time you're counting, you're thinking like Avery, and you're going to try and count by 5s. Or maybe the next time you're counting, you're going to think like Elliot and try and group by 3, but then also use a doubles fact and some decomposing to get to 30. Neither way is the right way nor the wrong way. You just have to determine which is the best way for you as a learner. Can you guys give air high fives to Avery, Cody, and Elliot for sharing their thinking? Can you then take that same hand and give yourself a pat on the back for sharing your thinking with all of us today? And then we'll listen for some next steps for where we go next. Where would you like them to go?